Hey everybody, welcome back to our Google Classroom course. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can very quickly and easily create a question in the Google Classroom. This is an opportunity to create a single question. It can be a short answer question or it could be a multiple choice question that your students can answer right there in the Google Classroom. That's where it's different from Google Forms. If we want to have multiple questions, multiple answers, that's where we'll go ahead and use a Google Form in our classroom. But this is great for creating classroom warm-up activities, class discussions, exit tickets, and being able to check for understanding throughout the course of the class. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Google Classroom at classroom.google.com, and we're going to head to our classwork tab. We're going to create a question. All right, so now that I'm here, I can go ahead and I can create my question. Now you can see that in the previous lesson, we had already created some topics, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create, and you'll see here, question. What's really great about this is, again, I can create this question for one of my Google Classrooms, or I could create it for multiple Google Classrooms if I'm teaching multiple sections of something. I can assign it to all of my students, or I can assign it to just specific students. I can go ahead and I can pose the question. So perhaps we're looking at some of our grade 6 sky science, and we're discussing the topic of Earth, or even in grade 3 when we're talking about the different types of rocks and the parts of the Earth. I'm going to go ahead and pose a popular question. Why do some people think the Earth is flat? Now, of course, I can give some additional instructions if I want them to be able to have a conversation, if I want them to be able to talk with a partner first. This does not have to be graded. I can choose to give it point value that goes back to the students as a form of feedback. I can also leave that ungraded. I can give it a due date, or I don't have to give it a due date. I can just post this in the classroom right now. I'm going to go ahead and give it a due date for tomorrow. Here you'll notice it's pulled in topic. Again, if I don't give this a topic, it's just going to be loose at the top of my classwork page. I really want to give it that topic. I can go ahead and I can put this under topic A, or I can also create a topic right from here. So perhaps I'm going to create a topic called Sky Science. Now you'll notice here that I've asked a short answer question. I can also ask a multiple choice question. Option 1, I can put here, do I think the Earth is flat? I can put yes, no, any of that. I can also go back to short answer. Now here I can choose, can students reply to each other? I've chosen to left this on because it would be nice for students to be able to have a collaborative conversation going back and forth. Can the students edit the answer? That's if you want them to be able to go back and change their answer or not. In this case, I'm just looking to create some conversation. It's not a summative assignment, and so I'm going to put it in the classroom like this. Now, the exact same features we see throughout all of Google Classroom applies to questions as well. I can include a file upload. I can include a document or slides from my Google Drive. I can include a YouTube video, and I can include a link to an outside address. Now, I did find a YouTube video that's the Planet Earth Astronomy for Kids. I've made sure it's nice and safe, really showing why the science behind the Earth being round is. But now I'm going to go into my classroom and I'm going to put that YouTube video right in here so the students can watch the video and then, of course, have the discussion and answer their question. I can choose to ask this immediately, or of course, I can go ahead and schedule when I'd like this question to be asked or save it as a draft because I'm working on it. The schedule is really nice, especially if you're creating a series of exit tickets or warm-up activities that you want kids to do as they're coming in the morning. This is a really great way to throw in that question in there, have the kids have something to be able to be focused on and working on as they're waiting for the rest of the class, or also just to be able to check for understanding at the end of a lesson. So scheduling is a really awesome way to be able to use your time well when you have a prep time, or if you're at home planning in the evening like I am right now. You can work in your Google Classroom and still not have the kids work on it before you want them to. Because if I create this question right now and I go ahead and post it, any student who's in my classroom can get that notification and you know they're in there answering it right away. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to say ask so that you can see this. So once that's in, you see that I've created the Sky Science topic. Now, maybe this is a topic I'm going to be working on a little bit more often and I don't want it at the bottom. Don't forget, just like we showed in a previous lesson, I can take Sky Science and I can keep moving that up in my Google Classroom because it is the most current underneath our class materials. It's the most current topic we're going to be working on, and I want to continue to add to it. So now the students will be able to go in here. Now what I'm going to see is I'm going to see who's turned it in and who's had it assigned, and I can of course view the question. Right now I only have 2 students, but why don't we take a look at what it will look like when the student goes ahead and answers this. So a couple things you'll notice now that I'm logged in as my demo student. The first thing you'll see in the stream is they're going to see any previous announcements. Again, that's all those announcements that go in that chronological order. But look what's happened in their stream. It showed Trish Rofi has posted a question, so I can click on it directly from here. Or of course, when the students are in the classwork page, they'll be able to see all of the topics and all of the organization that you have offered for them. And so right here, they can also click on the question. What's really great is they can click on view question and they can type their answer right here. So you can see here the student is able to type their answer and they're able to turn it in. But note, there's still the opportunity to have some private comments. And we're going to talk about private comments and class comments as part of another lesson, but just know that students, no matter whether it's an assignment or a question, always have the opportunity to get more clarification from you and make sense of the assignment without always having to feel like, uh-oh, I better answer this, or am I going to get this wrong? So they're going to go ahead and submit this and turn it in, and then we'll see what it looks like to the teacher. Now, because I left on the opportunity to see classmates' answers, they would be able to go in here and see what other people have said and also reply to them. That's how we generate the conversation. So now in the teacher view, I'm inside my question. I can see the student answers. I can see my demo student has provided me with an answer, and I can see my other student hasn't provided an answer yet. So it is really nice to be able to just be able to see how the students are doing, get some conversations going, all of those different things. I can always switch back to the question at any time, and I could leave a class comment for everyone as well, in addition to the private comments for each individual student. In order to leave those private comments, don't forget, just find your student in the left-hand side. It'll just filter it so it's only their actual answer, and you can add your private comment to them. Only they will see it, not the entire class. So let's try this one more time, and this way you're going to see what it looks like when I create a multiple choice question. So I'm going to go ahead, create, I'm going to create the question. This time I'm going to ask if we think there's another planet like Earth. So again, I can choose to give it a particular due date if I want to. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it under my topic of sky science. This time I'm going to say multiple choice. And we're just going to make this a simple yes and no. You just go ahead and hit return every time you want to be able to add another option. Can the student see the class summary? This will just allow them to see a chart of responses and be able to get a good poll of what that has happened. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask this. I'm not going to add any other additional materials this time. And now there'll be another question, and we can see that icon of a question that has been created. I can go and I can see it. And right here, without even having to go in to view the question, I will see the numbers of who has said yes and who said no. So it's quick and easy. It's just a nice way to be able to get some of that formative feedback for students, engage in some conversation, look for some teachable moments. It's a great way to engage in literacy, numeracy, science, as you can see. So give it a try. Try creating a question and see if you can answer it. Now, if you'd like, if you were one of the people that joined our Google Classroom in one of the previous lessons, go ahead, you're in there now as a student, try answering one of these 2 questions and just see what it feels like as a student to be able to say, hey, this is what I think about flat Earth, or do I think there's another planet Earth out there? But it will be interesting for you to see as a student what those questions look like and to be able to see the summary of the results. So good luck with trying that. That is your challenge for this particular lesson. If you have any questions, please make sure you give me an email.